Welcome. Hey, it's fine, Miss Murph. It's fine. Hey, trust me. I was gonna shut it down because I'm over there being petty and listening to the news. But hey, I'll still leave the show up and still get through the material as if you was here. But it's always a pleasure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Hope everybody is having a very good day. Hope you're having a very good week. We've almost made it to the weekend. Yes. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Will be a show tomorrow, Freestyle Friday show. Got some material, and this show tonight can kind of blend. I was thinking about saving this until later to do a show on this later, but things have kind of heated up. For those of you who are are not following stuff off the field or off the court per se. No, Miss Murph, trust me. You can go over there, participate in the chat and all that. Trust me, I'm gonna get through this material. It'll be about 15-20 minutes. I'll be back over. If they still going, it's a lot going on over there. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I'll be fine. But for those of you who are not aware of what goes on off the field, off the court, and you saw the thumbnail is sports betting out of control. Is it too much sports betting? Are you still working? Okay. Sports betting out of control. Recently, it was a story that broke in regards to the NBA. I want to make sure I'm getting this name correct. Let me look at this. Let's to make sure. Cleveland Cavaliers coach JB Bickerstaff was accosted and threatened by gamblers recently, and he's saying he's reported that he's received death threats. He's received all kind of stuff in regards to gamblers approaching him about the team's performance and all that kind of stuff, and it caused me to kind of think because not that gambling is a new thing in regards to sports. You can think back to the 1919 Boston White Sox. The prominent story. We gonna talk about NBA referee. What's his name? Tim Donahue. In regards to gambling, so gambling has been around for a long time. It's mainly being embraced in other sports, the major sports. I'm talking about NFL, NBA, baseball. Is gambling has very much been looked down upon. But as you have seen, over the past couple of decades, how you doing, Dr. Nikki? Have you seen that over the past couple of decades? Gambling has worked its way not only into the bed per se of sports leagues, but it's also become part of the lexicon when you're talking about when we're talking about fantasy teams, fantasy points, that kind of stuff, and that access to gambling has become so much more convenient, so much easier for people to get involved in. It hasn't gotten to a point where it causes you. Now, I don't want to sound like one of those conspiracy guys to say that gamblers and the mob is controlling games and games are fixing stuff like that. But some people only follow the sport not because they're a fan of the game, but because it's money to be made. It is money hand over fist. I looked up how much FanDuel, which is a very popular gaming website, gambling website, that you can place bets on games, players, parlays. That you got to get down with the lingo a little bit and make you a quick coin without having to go to a casino or having to be out in Vegas and understand what the books are and all that kind of stuff. But FanDuel last year made $12.3 billion in revenue. Now, mind you, this is a gambling website. Like I said, this is not something that is attached to what we, when you think gambling, you think Las Vegas or Atlantic City. It's not tied to those. And for them to be raking in $12.3 billion with the last quarter, it was up by 15%. They made $3.4 billion in the last quarter of last year. And when you kind of tie that into what the changes, the subtle changes, and the not so subtle changes you've seen in the world of sports, it was one point the NFL for years, Las Vegas was trying to get an NFL franchise out there. And the NFL, at the time was like, hey, it'd be a bad look. This is a place of gambling. We don't want gambling associated with our league. We think that's a bad thing. Whoop, 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 whoop. And now you have the Las Vegas Raiders, who came over from Oakland. I think sports leagues, I mean, a lot of them are in sponsorship deals with a lot of these such gambling type websites, such as a FanDuel, and other websites. Like, hey, I'm on, I'm in Spaces, man. I see ads for the quick parlays. Hey, spend $5, bet over and under. If and they make it so easy, make it so accessible, make it so clear that you can understand what you're actually betting on. Like, who wouldn't put down, if you're a gambling person, who wouldn't put down a $5 parlay that can possibly get you, let's say $20? Nothing crazy like that. Say I put down a $5 parlay that LeBron James scores 10 points or more in the next game. It is very easy. It is very accessible. A lot of them offer, first time you visit a lot of these websites, they offer, hey, we'll match you. You whatever you put up, we'll match you. And it sucks in, and it kind of feeds into that gambling tendency, kind of like with the lottery. Kind of like with the lottery. But I look at this as potentially being, it's going to come a point when they're going to have to, in my opinion, sports leagues are going to have to kind of separate themselves from it. The NFL is trying its best to control it, but we talked about this at some point early last year with all the NFL players that were getting suspended for gambling on not even NFL games, but just gambling on games, period. As the NFL players, it's in their bylaws, it's in their code of conduct that they're not supposed to be betting on games. So players figured the workaround to that, if I'm not going to bet, hey, I'll get my man, part of my entourage to do it. And some players, I want to say it was 6 players last year, got suspended before the season started due to the gambling stuff. It's going to come a point with how popular online gambling is, and this gambling period on sports leagues, and how they've come to the point where they've learned to accept it's a part of life and decided we're going to get in on it. It's going to come a point, I think, you're going to start to see a separation from those leagues, from these gambling websites, because now it is starting to get dangerous where, like I said, you have Cleveland Cavaliers coach coming out talking about he's received death threats. Now, this is a guy that is coaches. He's not on the court, but he affects the games because he is the head coach. But he's getting threatened, families getting threatened, and that, yes, it's crazy. It's got to this point where players and their families and other members of the organization are being accosted and threatened over gambling, and is to the point it's just so rampant. Like, you can't, like I said, it used to be centralized in Las Vegas. Vegas was really about betting on boxing, fights and stuff like that. Now they bet on sporting events, but the leagues at the time were not in bed with them. I think the NBA, if my memory serves me correctly, were the first to kind of get in bed with the Las Vegas kind of lifestyle. They do have the summer league that is routinely held out there, and they've kind of low-key embraced it. Gambling. You've heard the stories of Michael Jordan on team flights, and so gambling has kind of been part of the culture of the NBA, and the NBA has embraced it. But now is with how much gambling has spread, I think you got to take, if you're a league, if you're owning a league, if you're associated with the league, you got to take a real hard look at how gambling is affecting your sport, and not necessarily the play on the field, but I think the perception is guys are being placed, I would say, placed in harm's way, being placed in harm's way unnecessarily due to the growing gambling addiction that you see with sports. Like I said, it is so easy to go out there and click on a website, set up an account, quick account, bet $5, and now you suckered in, because it's not like you're having to spend thousands of dollars to hit your parlays. It's not like you're spending thousands of dollars betting on the over and under of a game. It is so easy for the casual person, and it's being advertised constantly, even on if you go to these sports websites like NFL.com, you'll see an ad pop up. If you go to NBA, you see ads pop up, and even the sports quote unquote networks are deeply in bed with them. They have their own kind of thing where they get involved with the fan duels and other those type of websites. It's I mean, just, if you listen to his interview when he's talking, matter of fact, let me just see if I can pull it up. I mean, because I think you just gotta hear it to kind of understand like how crazy it has gotten in regards to let me see. I got a little time. Woo. Okay, here we go. Biggest style. Let me see if I can find the actual interview. Let's see a press conference. But yeah, you gotta hear this. And I should have had it up, but hey, I was being petty. Being petty. Let's see. I think this is. I just want to make sure. Okay. All right. So let me get this together. Give me a sec, y'all. Yep, it's everywhere. Present. Y'all think I'm a rookie at this, the way I'm kind of moving tonight. Fair use. This is for commentary purposes only. Let me get myself here. You just got to kind of like listen to it. This is another show kind of breaking it down. I'm gonna do this on short notice, so work with me.
Health struggles the last couple months, and his answer involved, and we'll play the answer for you in a sec. He says he feels more like a prop than a person because of how much sports gambling has infiltrated the daily society. So here's what Tyrese Halliburton had to say. Then I'll tell you what JB Bickerstaff said in response to that yesterday. Then I'll ask you guys a question. But here's Tyrese Halliburton from Tuesday.
You focused on the sports college with the Pacers, and if so, like, what was that process like? Because as an athlete, you're super confident all the time, right? But there are moments where you might need to like just hear somebody's perspective on something that if you're going through, that's unique.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've done that for kind of the last couple of years. It's been good for me, even when I'm not. I don't want to just talk to them when I'm struggling. Like I think there has to be conversation at other times too, because I think obviously what happens on the court is what happens on the court, but like just life in general, it's important. I think for us as basketball players, as men, to get those things out, because not everybody cares to hear how we feel, or that's just the point blank period. I mean, to half the world, I'm just helping them make money on DraftKings or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'm a prop. You know what I mean? Like that's what my social media mostly consists of. I think it's important for us to like have somebody to talk to, and like I think all that stuff is like it can be funny sometimes. If somebody's like, I lost $1,000. I don't give.
Let me pause it there. Come back over. Yeah. Let me come back over. Come back over here. Yeah. I mean, I think it's grown worse over the years. I think it's with these leagues embracing it. I don't think they're thinking it all the way through. Yes, it is money to be made. Get in bed with them, get a piece of that pie. I think they some greedy motherfuckers anyway. But I'm looking at it from the player's perspective and from a safety standpoint. Like just imagine, being a regular person, and your performance at work is making other people money. We got to over under if Miss Murphy's gonna show up on time. We got to we got a parlay that Dr. Nikki is going to give out 5 Fs on a midterm. Like just imagine having to deal with that pressure, and that pressure from those people reaching out to you in real life, or where they're threatening you, where they're threatening your family, based on your performance at work, which they don't contribute to, which they don't help you with. But like I said, it's growing. This culture of sports betting is grown as these leagues have turned to embrace. And I think when you hear comments made by Tyrese Halliburton, you hear comments made by other players, and them being accosted online and the social media, and their families being okay, hold on for a sec. You normally don't come up until the Friday show, but you decided you want to come up here tonight. Okay. All right, but as I continue, but I think you know, we as a society got to take a real strong look at, like, is this gambling addiction? Has it gone too far? Is it to the point where it's too accessible to the regular person? You know, it was a time, you know, before these leagues really got into it. You know, the FanDuels, the DraftKings, they wasn't making billions of dollars every year until these leagues got a bit. Oh, well, you know, this is the sports show. So I get told here, I know something.
Exactly. So the reason why I wanted to come up tonight, because you're right, I normally hit the link on Friday, but you know, when you drop the link, I try to oblige and come on up there and keep you good company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always have to sit on the front porch. You know, sometimes the gnats do too much. So I want to take you back. Do you remember the Pete Rose scandal with the gambling, right?
I do.
So when people want to change up rules like this after the fact, okay, so let me back up. So there's Pete Rose and all of that. And then there is, for me, it's like you can't capitalize and make every single dollar.
I understand that, but that's what, you know, these leagues have kind of like, I feel like to me, I feel like they crumbled to the pressure. And, you know,
But what's the pressure?
I mean, they saw opportunity. You know, because at the end of the day, it's all about making money. They, you know, they don't care. I mean, you be honest about it. You've been to sporting events, especially football games. They don't care how much alcohol you drink, because Budweiser's their sponsored. We're not thinking about fan safety. We're not thinking about player safety. I can think about we could talk about, you know, the brawl up there between the Pacers and the Pistons back in the day. Like, you can't tell me that wasn't alcohol fueled aggression from some of those fans.
Right. No, I agree. But even with the concessions and things like that, like the fans actually have to be there, you know, to purchase those things. And it's things that kind of add to the engagement while they're playing. The whole gambling thing, you can place a bet and not even have to watch it. So you're saying for those who still want to make, you know, money or invest or whatever, and not even watch it or whatever, or not even be a fan or get long money, you want that money too?
Yeah. Like I said, they're in league. I mean, because they fought it for so long, but then eventually they wanted to get a piece of the pie. So, you know, now you hear them you know, running commercials for DraftKings, running commercials for a FanDuel. FanDuel's got this blah 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 tournament, and you know, if you sign up now, they're in the league. But gambling is $1 billion business, and like I said, it's grown so much from gambling being done in the back alleys and in casinos. Like, you can, from the comfort of your phone, and this was what a couple of NFL players got suspended for last year. From the comfort of your phone, you can place bets on any kind of sporting event that you want, and it's like that. So why not? That's how they look at it. Why not? You know, get in league with it. Let's make it kind of like semi-official. And you know, we're about making money. We're about the sponsorships. Like, listen, they don't care. You know, you have these players and these coaches complaining about it, and I think, you know, for them it's a safety issue, because it's growing. You know, you know, that culture, gambling culture, has grown so much. Like, I can't scroll down my Twitter feed, like every five posts I see an ad for some kind of gambling site.
Right. Like I've even seen where now, like in North Carolina, I had to go to North Carolina yesterday. Even there, such and such coming soon. Gambling will be, you know, at the touch of a finger on billboards. I'm like, are y'all kidding me? We're about to enter a recession, and y'all posting gambling shit.
They don't care. We're listen. At the end of the day, you know, they're about making a buck. And you know, I could make this a much larger world conversation. The only reason why league is not legal nationwide, because everybody hasn't figured out how to capitalize and make money off of it. You know, that is, I mean, that's you want to be honest. If they could find a way to make weed legal and any other drug legal and control the market, that's something they can't do with drug control the market, and they would legalize all that stuff.
Okay, so that's a good point that you raised there about the legalization of marijuana, because although it is legal in some states on a state level, on a federal level, it's still illegal.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, okay, so you're gonna do gambling the same way, and then if you make it legal, do you go back and give a pardon to all the athletes who gambled back in the day? Although the laws are different, but still, people, you have that whole de facto, or you got grandfathered in clauses to stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and I see where you're going with the Pete Rose thing. I think baseball, with certain things with baseball, if you get caught, they're still kind of die hard with the cheating stuff. Especially when we're talking about gambling, especially gambling on your own sport, they're still kind of die hard with that. Do I think, at this point with how much gambling has spread across all leagues, all platforms, and they may want to see, if I was them, I would kind of like take a second look at that. But hey, like baseball is they still have some of those old school mindsets in regards to certain things. I think they do a better job of protecting their history than a lot of other leagues do.
Okay, and I agree, but also there's no cap in baseball last time I checked. And it's like, it's not my job to help you, even in my gambling, to pay for your players, or, make it so that you could loosen your belt a little bit more.
Well, it is. See, it is a cap in baseball, but see, here's the thing: it's an upside down cap. It's
Okay.
no top. There's no top to it, but it's a minimum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like NBA.
Right, but it still benefits you if there's a minimum.
Yeah, I mean, but if I can make, if the minimum is I got to spend $60 million on this roster per year. So, kind of like how some of these small market teams were doing it, like that works for them. But at the same time, like the whole culture of embracing the gamble, like, yeah, let me get a piece of that pie,
right?
And I thought for years, how the NFL was always pushing back, because Vegas had wanted a team for years, and it is looked kind of odd. This is one of the major cities in America that doesn't have a football team. Now they have one, brand new stadium, and the NFL is loving it, promoting it. We don't care if it's in Sin City. We spent decades telling you we didn't want nothing to do with Las Vegas at all. Now they fully embraced it, and like even with the gambling stuff, like they got guidelines in place. Like we'll tell players, well, you can gamble, just don't bet on your sport. Don't bet you can't bet during the season. You can't bet. You can't go on your phone in the facility and do it. You can't get one of your friends to bet on our sport. Like, but you can bet. Like you can make you can make money gambling. And the NBA, as long as you wasn't gambling on their sport, they don't give a damn what you do. You've heard the stories of the Barclays and the Jordans, and
right.
That's been part of the culture there. But I think the average consumer, like the person you said that doesn't watch the game, that doesn't watch the sports,
right
now they have access to kind of get in on it. I mean, think about it, gambling was inaccessible for a lot of people. Now you can get it from the comfort of your phone. No frills, no. I don't have to meet nobody in the alley. I don't have to worry about nobody, breaking
no long
my
shots.
knees.
No, yeah. I'm not walking around with my knuckles broken or digits missing.
Right. The culture has changed around gambling. The perception of gambling is like, it doesn't look like you might know somebody that has a gambling problem, but to the outside world, it's like it's an app. Like
well, that's my overall ethical and moral concern about something that's going to happen anyway, is the fact that I really feel like people are trying to move us to a lawless society, and that scares the hell out of me, especially with Generation Alpha and even Generation Z you know, just like no rules, no laws, no guidelines, no nothing. They don't even have the discipline or response. You know, they don't have any responsibilities. They're not invested in effort, things of that nature. So if you keep like with the DEI in Florida and now with the gambling, and then you got high school people who can make more money than their parents could ever make on endorsements with these NIL deals. Like, I see the benefits of it, but long term, I'm really scared, and I don't know if I even want to grow old enough to see what this looks like 30 years from now.
I mean, forget 30 years from now. Think of how much stuff has changed in the last 10.
Right, exactly. So you see what I'm saying here. Are we trying to move to a lawless society where you can do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter your connection or proximity to it? So I can be a player, but I can also get these lofty salaries, and I can also gamble or slide money to my friends as long as I tell people they're not my friends, all this other kind of stuff. And then if I'm feeling, a little salty with the coach or whatever, I can do what I want to do to throw the game, all kinds of things like that. That really bothers me. Like, I really am a large supporter or a staunch proponent of there being rules and people having discipline and order. It's necessary.
Yeah, okay. Well, I would say this, and before I do that, hey, Miss VS, coming out off the satellite station. Yeah, we good over here, brother.
I know she dropped down off of the London socialites to come to us commoners over here. I love Miss VS.
I do too, but I think I agree with you. We need order and all of that, but I've come to accept because dealing with being around young people and that kind of stuff, the boundaries of what we knew have expanded so much. Like take social media, for instance, is way different in the past 5 years than it was like 5 years ago. Like, it is hard to kind of, if you have a young person, a kid, a grandkid or whatever, you got to be up on it, and a lot of times they're ahead of you. So because they're ahead of you, is they don't have that order in place, because how are you going to have order in the place that you're not even at,
or healthy levels of fear?
And it ain't in them. It ain't in them. Like,
but they real low on accountability. Like, they are fearless, but accountability, what? That was my avatar that did it.
Yeah, but even like, even with the subject at hand, even with the gambling, I can from my phone, from the comfort of my home, I can have a gambling. Some people have a gambling addiction and don't have to meet Big Tony in the alley to do this stuff. Like, they've made it so like they're ahead of the curve. They're ahead of everybody else, and we're playing catch up.
And see, here's the other thing too, that it's like feeding into our clicking sensations and impulsive behavior, so that in a click of a moment you can lose your house, all of your endowments. You can lose your trust funds, all kinds of. And speaking of trust fund, you need to revisit that, because you dropped it about 2 months ago, and I need you to follow up on that. Trust funds and everything else in just a drop of a dime. Whereas, if you got to go meet somebody or take a ride to a convenience store, or, there's only one store in the county that does all this, that, and the third, you could think about before you make those moves on your way there or back. Like, this whole thing of like, and again, I am definitely invested in privacy, but oh my goodness, because so this kind of applies, but not really. You heard about Bruno Mars allegedly being in debt $50 million because of his gambling habit or addiction. How does it get that far? $50 million, not 50,000, 50 million.
Well, yeah, but to follow up on that, they did come out and say that was a false story.
Okay, well, good, because that was another unbelievable for me. I was like, how do you?
But people, even with let's segue here. But even with that, 50 million sounds crazy that you built that debt. But people was like, well, he can make that back with a couple of residencies, a couple of tours, and it'd be nothing. And what's the fear when I know I can go out and make that 50 easily? But they came out and said that wasn't true.
Okay, because I'm always looking at behavioral patterns. It's our behavioral patterns that enables us to make predictions. So, that's always where I'm coming from. Anytime you bring up a topic or we are, analyzing a particular situation, I'm always thinking about those things and long-term implications of what are they modeling for other people. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, brother was 38. Yeah, Jordan was a notorious gambler. It was celebrated in the NBA, but like I said, it ain't necessarily the players I'm worried about gambling because they got so much oversight in place, so many restrictions in place. What I'm worried about is
The owners.
with the owners and players, it's guidelines in place of what they can and can't do as far as placing bets on particular sports or sporting events, that kind of stuff. With the casual fan is they don't have those restrictions. And then when you hear players say, yeah, such and such fan walked up to me and say, I lost $1,000 because you didn't get 60 yards that game. Like, you don't know the mindset of these people that you putting people in harm's way as it is. While I think it's even increased now that they're having real conversations about this, but I think the leagues are kind of deep in there now. I think they've kind of like embraced the culture so much that you become part of the problem. Because they even on their website they advertise this stuff like, hey, you can go here to FanDuel and DraftKings and blah blah blah, and like that's a gambling website.
Absolutely. It's something that it takes you a click to get into, but the rest of your life or in perpetuity to get out of. Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, again, my spidey senses are not, says this is trouble.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I'm just waiting, and God forbid I hate it to happen for a player to get hurt over someone's gambling addiction that you promoted on your with your league. That like I said, these folks, loan shark. The days of loan sharks are dead. I can do everything from my phone. I can do everything from my phone, from the safety of my phone. I don't have to be looking over my shoulder. Yeah, brother. Certainly, a lot of the sports networks, gambling themed shows, like it's everybody's in the culture now. They get a piece of that pie. FanDuel made what is it, $12 billion last year.
I know somebody has to be worried, and I'll be that.
Somebody has to be worried.
Somebody has to be. So I'll send out that SOS. No, don't do this.
More and more states are adopting their own laws in regards to gambling. It's about to become more widespread than just from the click of your phone. Like, the states want to get a piece of the pie now.
I know, and Dots, I'm very much a liberal person in my thinking and in just accepting of others and all these other types of things. But it's like every time, like I'm almost scared for you to do your shows because I'm like, oh my God, it's about to blow my mind again. It's like we're living in a den of iniquity, people.
When you really. Outside of sport, when you really kind of like take a step back and really look at how we are as a society, it's no boundaries, it's no rules, and the older you get, the further you get behind in the world. I know people that still stuck on Facebook, and we're in the age of TikTok, and it's something else on the horizon that we don't know about. The VR stuff, and and
AI makes it so you don't even have to think.
Yeah, AI is creeping into even into your field with the Chat GPT. Like,
yeah, that's a big thing.
It's hard, but see, it's hard to kind of set boundaries and have order in places that you don't if you're not up on game, you don't know if you're getting a Chat GP paper. You relying on AI your damn self to see if it's somebody else's work. Like, really, like
I never looked at turnitin.com or digital Dropbox and some of these other softwares that we use for plagiarism checkers as AI.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. You know, you got AI checking AI.
Mm.
I mean, that's deep when you think about it, because
No, it is. It
it ain't
really is.
you know, it ain't the humans no more. When you know, these young students submit papers, you know, for plagiarism check is AI potentially checking AI. And trust me, it's AI out there that is being designed or has ways to get around whatever.
Everything.
Exactly. So it's hard to have order and boundaries when, you know, we're playing catch up. And I've just come to accept, you know, I could try to control the things, but I have control over and be as adaptable as I can. And I, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's all you really can do. That's all you really can do is try to control what you can and stay up as you know. I know the older I get, the further I'm gonna fall behind in regards to, you know, I mean, like even YouTube is you know, they're just now catching on to people, you know, with the AI stuff. As far as, you know, content creation and stuff like that. Well, now you have to label it as something that was created through AI. Like you have people who built, you know, million subscriber channels with AI. No, you know, all they had to do was type in prompts. And like, trust me, I've looked at it, you know, just because I wanted to see what it'd be like to just create, you know, content to streamline mass content. And like you can do it in the span of like a couple of hours. You can create, you know, about 30-40 videos just using AI.
Well, see, I'm okay. So in that aspect of it, like I think it's great for that, you know, progression in that way, because what I'm hearing you say, although sometimes it may not be what you said, but what I'm hearing you say is that now they're tightening up on you giving credit to your sources, which we do that anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, but when I say this, like even YouTube is behind.
No. I
Yeah,
heard that part, but I'm
yeah,
just saying by you saying that they're asking you to cite that this is AI generated,
yeah.
or like I want to say maybe it was 5 years ago or so when that young kid Ryan's World was getting into trouble because his parents wasn't putting on his YouTube channel, you know, which channels were sponsored and which ones weren't, you know, those types of things. So as I said, I'm all here for crediting and a little bit more transparency.
Yeah.
But we still need order.
No, I listen, I don't disagree with you, but I think it's getting harder and harder. And you know, in certain situations, like with these leagues, it got to the point where you either get down with what's going on and accept this is what, you know, kind of like the coach is, and try the best to provide order in that sense. Like they're playing catch up, and they're going to continue playing catch up. I mean, I can go on my phone now and don't even have to watch the game, and they make these parlays and stuff, you know, these bets so easy and it's so tempting, and it can pull the average fan in or average person in, let alone fan. You're gonna flood your emails. I saw the Mr. said that they're gonna flood you. If you look up anything sports related, trust me, you'll get a FanDuel, DraftKings type email somewhere in your spam or something like that. Yeah, all you can do is try to have order and control what you can control. But I think this is what the NBA and, you know, these major sport leagues are really, you know, I don't think they really thought it all the way through. It's like we got to get some of this money, and now they're having to play catch up with their own guidelines, and like the player, I almost said it was a player last year. He got suspended because he made a bet it wasn't even on the NFL game because it was the off season. But he made a bet on his phone in the facility on like a basketball game, and you know, he ended up getting a 2-game suspension for that. Like they're adapting, you know, constantly. Like I believe, you know, having order is nice. You know, having order and structure is nice, but you know, we in some chaotic days, man.
I know. Like, so do you remember, and this is a little bit off the subject, but it's still dealing with, you know, convenience. Do you remember when you first stopped writing checks and everything went to your debit card and you realized, oh, damn, I'm really not keeping up with all the money I'm getting because swiping is so easy that I'm not necessarily balancing out, you know, whereas, you know, so it's like, to me, it feels like it's dumbing us down in a way to where we don't have those very basic like computing skills and critical thinking skills that really separate us from animals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember last time I wrote a check.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, remember just that switch up to where it was so easy that you didn't even think, oh, I need to make sure that I have money in my, because it, when we first started using debit cards and what have you in place of checks or whatever, you could overcharge. I mean, or you could float a check and, all kinds of things that you can't do now. But it was never really like we had to, it was a learning curve that we were put in for us to realize, oh, you can call your phone or, to see if you got money in or go buy and check before you spend or this, that, and the third. As I said, that was just a conversation I remember having with my mom, of course, who's obviously older than I am, but she was just like, she thinks that debit cards are the devil.
I mean, they're from that generation. Like, I'm from the generation, where you actually had to ask people for money. Now you can just send a damn request on your phone.
Absolutely. Like, again, I had to turn that option off my phone because I'm like, are y'all kidding me?
Yeah. Get a cash app request. So, like it's hey, we're all playing catch up in this. But ma'am, any last words? Because I gotta start preparing. I got 2 shows tomorrow.
Oh, what? We coming outside?
Somebody wanted me to come outside, and
well, I'll bring the moonshine.
I don't think they're gonna like what I gotta say because they've been baiting me.
Listen, I believe you, and I'm right there with you. As I said, thank God for a mute button.
Yeah.
Thank God for mute buttons, because I'm telling you, a couple of times, and I was like, ooh, little boy.
No, it's not even on that. Yeah, I know what you mean, but this person.
Well, I call grown men little boys.
Yeah, this person has been asking for it, and I don't do subliminals.
Oh, you didn't say anything about the name that I gave you, so I think I'm gonna change it because I forgot that one of those words was kind of used to describe someone else. So I said DJ Drama, Mr. Can't Shake or Take 'em. So you didn't say nothing about that. I said, oh, he don't like that. Let me give him another name.
Give me something shorter.
Right, but that's dope though, because they can't shake you, and that's what they've been trying to do, and they damn sure can't take you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be something that that has to be like spot on with you, and just the fact that you are just, because it can't be unbothered. Because I gave it to I'm not T-Free. I gave it to Cutie. Miss and still unbothered. So yeah, because that's really what you are.
I'm going to tell you, and this is a preview for y'all. When I get through with my material tomorrow.
Okay. Then think of something for you.
Yeah, because I'm gonna go. It's not gonna be nasty, but gonna
be nice work though.
I give you, this is the kind of like the preview. Some people don't understand what grace really means.
Oh no, they don't understand grace and or mercy.
And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So this person has run out of grace, and I'm gonna give you what you asked for.
Well, listen, that's why we're into customer service. Isn't the customer always right? So if you're begging for it, let me serve you.
Yes. Yeah. See, you mess around and then the porch light come on tonight. Like, no, we're not doing it.
Okay, one more quick thing, just because I don't want to talk about it over there, although it's an over there thing. What did you think about the Bombay's hot collab?
Dope. I was very surprised that y'all was working and putting all that together. Dope. So
and you were shocked to hear me?
I was shocked to hear you. I was like, what the hell? I said, she doing on a Bombay track. I said, yeah, Brother of Certain fire collab. I mean, when you think about the cast of characters that come in, he put together very, 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 very dope. I honestly, and I've been a fan of Bombay's music for years.
Yeah, me too.
I would say honestly, that's probably my favorite, because You know, and he's had some hits. But I
He's
think
had some misses too.
I mean, you know, I mean, like we you
I'm
know,
just kidding. I'm just
no,
kidding.
no. I mean, you know, we've had some that be like, you know, I mean, I've had some live streams where it's like, you know, could have did the redo, but I think that and it's not even necessarily, you know, the music is great, just to see the collaboration of those people, but I liked it. It kind of hit for me a little bit more because I like the, you know, here you have these people from different parts of this sector collab
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and it's, you know, we're not mad, we're
Nope.
not yelling, we're
Had
not
a
getting
good time.
and I like, because that's what, you know, we're trying to get to where people, I mean, you're still gonna have, you know, disagreements, but get to a place where, you know, when you walk away from it, you actually walk away from it.
Absolutely. That
And
that right there sums it up brilliantly.
I think that's a direction we're kind of heading in, and like just to see that, you know, and hear that in musical form, you know, for me, I was like, yeah, this is dope, because, you know, here you have people who have had issues with each other, and like we're doing, you know, we're coming together to do music, and no one's feeling salty, no one's, you know, complaining, no one's doing a live talking about I had the best verse, like it's just like
Exactly.
we hit it was a good time to be had by all. It was a good time, it was good to hear, it was good, you know, even with the visuals, it was like, you know, and I've you know, I've had run-ins with people. I'm not gonna be like, man, I don't like that part, like no, I liked it for what it was. It's like we can do that more, and
Miss
I think,
Murph, there's room on the bus.
yeah, Miss Murphy might maybe want to jump on the track. Miss Murphy.
And then it's a dope nostalgic beat. You know what I'm saying? Like those people weren't really battling. It was just the talent, you know, of their, you know, Juice Crew that was on that, you know. So again, I had a really good time. It really it took me out of my comfort zone as far as the, you know, my online presence or persona. But you know, that's what we do around the house anyway. So I'm just like, okay, well, good. You giving us an opportunity, you know, to show another layer of who you are, or the fact that you can be so chill that you'll work with somebody on something just to gift it to the sector because we don't own it.
Yeah. And like I said, for me, you know, and I'll talk about this some more tomorrow. Like I like, you know, the kind of direction is going, like, okay, it's roasting and we're taking jokes at each other, but you know, when it's over, it's over. And I think that's kind of the vibe. The people are like, yeah, you know, we don't mind the, you know, the back and forth. It's gonna happen, but you know, when the show is over, when the camera's off, the live is over, it's over.
Absolutely. It was a clean break.
Yeah, you know, and then we're on to the next show. But you know, I'm pretty sure after I do my commentary on a certain individual tomorrow, a couple of them actually, I don't think they won't be able to just go on about their bit, but you know what? I'm talking too much.
Absolutely. So let me shut it down. I just wanted to kind of, you know, I've been waiting to get your 2 cents because I was like, you know, I wonder what Drama's thinking about this. And is that something you would potentially do?
I don't know. I thought about it. Then I was like, you know, I don't want to go up there and embarrass myself. But I mean, but that's part of it. You know, I'm just like when
exactly the fun part of it.
Yeah, like, you know, people are going to say whatever. Like, even with these shows we do, you know, whatever you do, people are going to have something to say. You know, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow too. Like, yeah, you just got to kind of take the good with the bad, man. Like, you know, it may not be for everybody, but at the end of the day, was it for you?
Exactly. And did you get something out of it? Did it make you smile? Did it make you laugh? If it did it make you say, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Then we did our job. But I do want to say this to you, and I promise this is my last point. I'll hop down. If you could do that parody of The Reason Why We Sing, you can definitely jump on this. Now it's my favorite, but it's my favorite because of that. And that was part of the inspiration for me jumping on. I said, wait a minute. I can't be, you know what I'm saying? Not that I said no, but I'm saying that's what made me feel even more comfortable to get out there and do it and just show that self, you know, be vulnerable to people in that way.
Yeah.
Because I tell you, that Reason Why We Sing is priceless to me.
You know, I just kind of like freestyle.
Yeah, you did. And that was what was great about it. And man, I was like, ooh, drama. Like, woo-wee. Gotta Dot. I said, I don't know if Gotta Dots would have approved of this one, but drama, like, I'm so glad you did it because it definitely brought me a tremendous amount of joy to just see you have fun and just do something different. Like everything doesn't have to be so serious and intense all the time.
Yeah, it don't. And I have, it's fun. You got to learn to laugh at yourself.
Absolutely. And I do it all the time. Y'all just don't hear it. In my day to day, I do it all the time. But thank you for having me up here. As always, I'll see you in this space on tomorrow. Any previews for what the topic might be?
I am going to have because Gator Girl asked me to do like a part 2 to what the conversation we had last week as far as
Yeah, she did.
so
but she's gonna be here.
Yeah, she better be here. Wrote me that long comment. I was like, you better be here. But yeah, we're gonna do part 2 of that, and also got some other stuff to kind of mesh in there. I kind of like to mix the social with the sports, and we're gonna do what we do tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. But as always, my pleasure. Thanks for having me up on a Thursday. As I talked about Law and Order, and I'm out of order. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down so you don't have to give me that trap door.
No, ain't no trap doors over here.
I can't. It will be when somebody else finds out about this space. So don't speak too soon.
I mean, at this point, I like it the way it is. I mean, if it gets out, I mean, I got no control over that at the end of the day, but it ain't gonna stop me from doing what I do over here anyway. I mean, you can hate from outside the club, you can't get in.
Oh, wait, not denied access. Oh, wait, can we do that with Mr. Denied Access? Again, I'm working on it, but I got something coming for you. At least you know I'm thinking about you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Let me get my behind up out of here.
Oh, absolutely. Have a great one. Give Miss Dots and Miss Drama my best.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do it. And it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Later.
Oh. Yes, Miss Burr, protect this space at all costs. Hey, we've been over here for about a good year. And it's remained chill, and it's growing slowly but surely. But I do my best to, hey man, come on over. Like, nah, I'm good. Some parties, some vibes, don't blend over here with what we got going on, and I like it. We and I say we because it ain't, it ain't just me. Y'all don't tune in, y'all don't sub, y'all don't comment, and it don't, really make the show. Now I'll still do the damn show, but it won't be the same. But let me get my behind up out of here because I gotta, go do some other things. But yeah, we'll be here tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Yeah, we'll be here. I might push it up to 7:30 because I want to make sure I give this space its proper due and proper time, so I'm not brushing to do the other stuff. Because yeah. But anyway, end you off with the phrase that pays over here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but every time you learn. And I'm out.